Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, it's been a while. Let's get this set up nice. I got a new background and not all those pictures and everything on the wall. Clear everything up, make it look a little better. I haven't done a lot of videos. There are established channels on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They're being kicked right off. It's a rodeo right now on YouTube. They're just barring people that are just doing not even political things. But with that being said, following a suspected mob rat for weeks. Now, I was helping out up at the club, and the boss's name was Sam. And I would run errands here or there or whatever, but I was selling steel legitimately. And what happened was, they're always paranoid about who's in bed with the FBI, and so there was guys that would come and go. They'd play poker, and they were geographically close, but I didn't know their whole personal background to say, when these people come and go, what their background is. I mean, I could maybe through conversation or whatnot, but I didn't ask a lot of questions. I don't want to know nothing. So, but Sam, he told me there was a guy prior that was at a poker game, and I had knew his face, and hey, Mr. Swan, and Sam says, I want you to follow this guy around no matter what. And just keep an eye on him. So these guys had a lot of whores. They had a wife, and they would gamble. They would go to their mistresses' places. And I was following this guy, just waiting to see if anything was going on. The club and maybe another place was cleared to see if there was any bugs in the place. The boss would frequently run checks on the place to see if it was that there were bugs. They were so creative with putting bugs in places. They'd use the cable company or the phone company or whatever they would do, but they were pretty crafty, and it was just, cat and mouse game. So you figure if the FBI wants to get in, they got to put a wire on somebody. And so this guy, we'll call him Rizzo, Ratso Rizzo, like Midnight Cowboy. We'll call him Rizzo. Slick dude, but I used to get a sense of people when they would come and go into the mix. For whatever reason, I would just get a sense of a person. The boss, Sam, told me I was really close with only two guys. There was three other guys that I didn't mess with. I learned the hard way. And then there's people in the peripheral that you would see at events, baby showers, communion, whatever. And then you would see them in the mix. But so I saw this guy, and I always had a bad feeling about him. And I'm watching him, and I'm reporting back to Sam. He went here, he went there, and there were more or less whores or strip joints or maybe another gambling game, poker game at another area or whatnot. And I'm just drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes like this, watching. And he never knew I was watching him. I mean, I wasn't a made man. I wasn't I didn't want to adhere and become a member, but the old man knew that the strategies and things that I used to promote to him, which might be in a prior video, of strategies not to get caught like a dumbass, which a lot of these people did. So Sam knew I could cerebrally, so the guy never followed, the guy never knew I was watching him. And there was a couple of cars that were also available that Sam would let me use to not elite Cadillacs, to watch it, unsuspecting cars like a beat up freaking, Dodge Omni or something, whatever, which I actually owned one myself. But so I would juggle cars and everything and watch, and everything was, couldn't come up with anything. So the one day I'm following him, and he was sitting in a plaza, and I'm way back 5 other rows, and I'm actually in a store in a plaza watching, not sitting in my car to draw more attention. And I'm looking through the window and everything. I see another car come up to his car, and the government vehicles. I knew the government vehicles, and I saw it, and then they took off, and I went back, I told Sam there was a government vehicle, and then he says, well, a lot of these guys are on probation. They still have to report to the FBI or whatever. They still have some connections where they got to report or whatever, like to the federal building of the FBI. Is that where they report for probation or anything? So he had some prior crimes that Sam did his own investigating work, the boss did. And for some reason, he didn't get the time that he was supposed to, because this wasn't part of Sam's main crew. So he found out. So that's a red flag right there. So fast forward, I'm watching him, and everything's all right. And Sam tells me, well, he's got to have a bug on him. He's got to have a wire right on him. So Sam invited, they'd have poker games. So there was a crawl space above the floor plan. There's crawl space up there with, bar things, or, neon lights, because it was a restaurant bar. It was a restaurant and bar too. And there was that kind of stuff, but there was unsuspecting little cracks. So Sam would put a little thing over where the bathroom was, and it was hot up there. It was very hot up there. Insulation, itching, and everything else. And so I got a camp up there. You could get there secretively. You could get up there secretively where nobody knows and just crawl real quiet. And so I'm watching the game, and then he'd have to go to the shit house. So I'd say, well, I'm going to go go around and go up. And I couldn't really see, you don't want to spy on a guy taking a crap or anything. But he was turned, and there was and he was wearing a wire. I mean, he was wearing a wire, and the end of it, see, Sam was making it's like if I was working the games, I'd keep his drink filled, keep that freaking VO, keep that liquor in his glass. He needed another one. So he was getting sloshed up, and he zipped his pants up, and there was a tip of this electronic type of thing coming out. So I called Sam and I said, Sam, yeah, I'm watching the guy, and he's got some contraption where his privates are or whatnot. He's got something. I don't really know what it technically was, but see, you could have five guys at a poker game, and if there's two FBI rats there, the chances are 95%. The chances are that they don't even know the other one's an informant. The FBI is not gonna. There's no advantage to that, in this chess game. So they're not aware of it. So I called Sam. I said, yeah, this rodent has got some kind of contraption there, and that's all. I don't know what else. That's it. So I get out of there. I go out in the parking lot and I smoke a cigarette. And here, Sam never really liked to come to the club after hours, and he showed up, and then another guy showed up. A shadow man. I call them the shadow men. They lurk in the shadows. They're hard to identify who, what, or where are they associated with or affiliated with. And I was out there smoking a cigarette, and boom, boom, boom. They just didn't acknowledge me. Walked in. They were out in a minute, and he said, "Go home." And that's all he said. He said, "Go home." Blah, blah, blah. He said, "Come back Tuesday or whatever." And I need a little. My hand's always out for some compensation, accepting donations. But it was tough to figure out. I would run little errands here or there, and I was trying to sell steel legitimately, college educated in business and marketing myself, me, and reading these people. And Sam would ask me, me and the boss got close, and he would ask me certain questions. What do you think about this guy, that guy, this guy? And maybe there was 5 of them, and there was only 2 that I told Sam I had any use for, that were true blue good guys that were not involved with the FBI or anything else. And there's just 3 scumbag pieces of crap that were infiltrated in there, because what happens is these guys get caught up in certain crimes, and they're degenerate gamblers, and they're losing a lot of money, and they can't pay the boss, they can't pay the captain, they can't pay their gambling debts, and then they scurry off to the FBI to protect their ass, because they have no other choice, because they figure they're going to get hit. So a crew doesn't know everything about every guy that's going on. There's crew, there's associates. They don't know everything that's going on 24 hours a day with these other people. But if you just do, get me to follow somebody around, and I got the time, you want to pay me, and I'll check out his habits, his daily habits and his tendencies, and when he comes and goes. And a lot of people do their daily routines like clockwork. We are creatures of habit. And so there was a couple of guys in the crew that I was close to, and they knew. I never just revealed stuff. If Sam said, "Don't say a word," but after the fact, a couple of the guys in the crew, we used to gamble, bet the horses, and stuff. I could trust them. More or less, I could trust them as far as you can trust, because they will turn on you also. But just say I felt more comfortable around two of the guys, and one especially. And I found out later on that Sam had said, yeah. However, I was watching and everything, and well, we were gambling, and he said, hey, that was pretty good. Yeah. You followed that piece of crap around or whatever. He was like, good work. I was like, well, I didn't know that you knew, but no, whatever. You don't want to elaborate too much or whatever. You just say, well, you always just stay in a guarded posture, even though you're being personable and you're trying to be nice and not disrespect anybody. And I'll just say, like, oh, is that what Sam told you? Or something like that. Oh, is that? So it could just be lore. It could just be gossip. He could just be bluffing to say that and just wait for my response. Mental hopscotch, chess game. You can't, I mean, that's what you're subject to in that environment. The less stuff that comes out of your mouth, the better. These guys would get drunk, cocked. I'd have to drive them home from parties and bars and everything else. And most were guarded, but some weren't. And I might say, hey, I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that bull crap. I don't want to hear it. So, yeah, you see all the Sammy the Bull, Gravano, and, if anybody knows the backstories on, Mike Francis and the involvement with the FBI, and then the paperwork, those coffer 2024, whatever the hell they are, all the information. It's such a convoluted, and then people take sides. Well, he was a rat, but he was a good rat. He was justified, or he's a bad rat. He wasn't justified. And wasn't Mike Francis a rat? It becomes so convoluted, and it's juvenile at this point. But those are big channels. And they, people sit on their edge of the chair for those stories. And that's entertainment. YouTube entertainment. You got to remember, the stories that are coming out of these guys' mouths are so crafted and con artists that is it so far-fetched that they might be lying? Oh, geez. Well, what a revelation that this ex-mobster was lying. I mean, geez. Hey, Mario. I know I got to put the coffee time sign back on the couch, but this couch is off the wall. But I cleaned all that stuff up. I don't want my family's pictures up on there. What am I, nuts? Put my family, that's sacred. I'm not putting that up on this bullshit YouTube to show my precious family back there so strange fucks can watch, not you guys, but anybody, could see my family. I must have been out of my fucking mind to put that on there. So, but you guys are my fam. So, yeah, so, it's not so far-fetched to think that some of these recognizable personalities on YouTube, might be stretching the truth. I might be stretching the truth. So you just never know. But that's a given going in. I might just be making up shit every freaking day. You have to look at every aspect. But those 20-something year olds, 30-something years old, 30-year-olds, everybody wants to be a gangster. Scarface, The Godfather, Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale. The world just eats it all up. And then they want an inside story from somebody that was there. And if you're the guy telling the story, it don't matter if it's true or false. So I gave up on saying, well, I know for a fact Mike Francis was lying. I know for a fact. Well, listen, the truth serum, Nobody cares if he's lying or not. God bless Mike Francis anyways. God bless you, Mike. He don't mean no harm. He outsmarted everybody. I got other ideas about Sammy the Bull Gravano. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Who cares? Sammy the Bull did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. Yeah, well, he wasn't honorable, but you know what? You're involved in crime. They're not altar boys. Nobody's altar boys. Yeah, there's honorable and respectable gangsters and everything. But the environment is, you're in a different environment. So, 200,000 subscribers and viewers could say, oh, Sammy the Bull, blah, 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 blah. He's got a big YouTube channel, whether he's a rat or not, whether he makes up stories or not. I know personally, who cares? I know personally that half them stories he made up. There is a flavor of truth in there if you check back on some records or whatever. But I'm 60 years old, and those guys would be 80. But he could put in a flavor of truth and then seamlessly weave in the good stuff that you guys all want to hear. And this guy's got total recall. Like, oh yeah, at 12 a.m. and July 2nd in 1986, he just got total recall off the top of his head. I like Mikey. I communicate with Mikey Scars. Forgive me, Mikey, if you didn't want that to be known, but good man. Good man. He does the show with my mind is shot. But yeah, they're a good show. They're a good show. We've communicated a few times back and forth, and he complimented to my channel. He complimented me. And that's nice because he knows. He knows. Joe Public out there might not know whatever thing, but he knows because he can read. He can read people. And yeah, they got a good show. Here's to Mikey Scars. It's coffee, but cheers to Mikey Scars, Di Leonardo. And the stories are the stories. And this channel's called The Truth Serum. Sometimes we don't know what the truth is. But you can give the viewers some type of evidence, quote unquote evidence, whatever evidentiary value there is to it, which things that we call evidence might not even be evidence. It might be third-hand gossip, second-hand gossip. Unless you were right there firsthand on the scene and seen something right before your eyes, that's evidence. But the FBI reports might not be evidence, what you see. Oh, these guys looked up the report. They call it the Proffer, the Coffer 202. They looked it up at the FBI Freedom of Information Act. So that's Bible truth. I got some swampland if you want to buy some. $10 an acre. Okay. So in this crew that Sam had, it was infiltrated, and I would, I was trying to tell them strategies. I was trying to tell Sam strategies. Well, if you're going to do this, why don't you do it like this? If you're going to do this, then set it up like this. Because so many of these players and actors and made men, they went down like nitwits. When all they had to do was take one or two cautionary measures to eliminate that risk. No, I mean, I tried to develop a language that they could talk about. I never said anything on the phone. but a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and donuts, or the Giants game, the Jets game, the Bills game. That's the language I spoke, everyday language. I never said anything but, oh, you need me to help you? You called the office, Sam? Oh, all right. I'll go run to the grocery store and I'll pick up them items and I'll bring them to you. Goodbye. When you could, I saw guys talking to guys in gym shorts. You couldn't talk to the guy. They put them in gym shorts, frisk them down, and they talk to them in their underwear. I told the boss, when that guy comes in, you strip him down. Oh, he's a good guy. We've known him for 30 years. That means something? Yeah. Okay. These guys have been around. They've done time. They should be more paranoid and suspicious to take the right precautionary measures, and they still go down like chumps. But well, I got a new setting, Leon Swan. I haven't done this. They froze my channel. I'm lucky it's still on the air. I haven't done a video in a long time, but their YouTube is on a spree that they're just eliminating a lot of channels, really highly successful channels, off of YouTube that have nothing to do with mafia stories or anything else. They're just, I talked political things. That's why they froze my subscriber thing. But I don't care anymore. I just wanted to share this story, whether it gets 5 views or I don't care. It's summer. I'm out and about. I'm moving around. This is YouTube. I mean, big deal. They barred me. I'm not tripping over it anymore. I mean, they're not making any money off of ads on my channel or anything else. It is what it is. That's their racket. The YouTube racket. That's their racket. They run it the way they want to run it. They want to freeze my subscriber ticker. Go right ahead. Remove my channel. YouTube censor, you moderator. Remove it. Remove it. That's how much I care. Yeah, I put a lot of time and effort in it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. The old saying. I mean, maybe not in my lifetime, but there will be other social media platforms that are respected more than YouTube. YouTube is losing all its honor, if it ever had any, or respect or dignity, that they're just a political run social media censorship, and that's the way it is. I didn't know I was living in communist Russia, but obviously I must be. Our country's turning Marxist and everything else. So I don't want to get into that on my channel, but I don't know when the next time I'm going to do another video. But I want to get a couple jabs in on YouTube, just the same, whether it's childish or not. They're punks over there. And I better leave it at that. I better not say any more because it's not good. There's no value to it. Only gets you in trouble with the law. So, yeah, that's all. Well, that's cool, Leon. Leon rode with me the first time. Mario, these guys been riding with me for a long time, and these guys are great guys. They gave me support when I had freaking no subscribers, and I rose up to 400, and I was on my way to 1,000 subscribers until I did the Brittany Griner video, and then that was it. That was it for me. Here's to Brittany Griner. Hey, she's trying. She's only doing what she could do, and she's suffering from some mental health issues. So I wish everybody well. Love your enemies. It's hard to do. Love wins. They could stick YouTube in their ass. That's all. That's all. So, yeah, that was a crazy game. Following this guy around, seeing what he was doing and everything. But he was wired. The guy was wired. And I don't really know what happened after that. I wasn't around that much longer. I didn't want to run errands. A lot of things got very tumultuous. And then I just said, I don't want to do anything anymore. There's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to share. You all know anyways, let me go on and just find another job. I mean, I was very well educated at the time, university educated, Dean's List, and I'm running around with these clowns. And yeah, crazy game of mental hopscotch. But if you were going to do a thesis on the psychological profile of 90% of these guys, and what would your thesis say about human behavior, fear, greed, paranoia? It would be a good paper. I don't have the time to write it, but it would be, I wrote a book, but it would be a good paper just for the psychological dissection of a lot of bipolar, but bipolar is a stupid made up word anyways, because we're all capable of getting pissed off and being happy. But they want to label a lot of people bipolar just to put labels on people to promote their medical foundation and objectives. So you get everybody whacked out on medicine. I got to take medicine for being bipolar. Yeah, okay. We won't unpackage that. But thank you, Leon. Thank you, Mr. Mendez, Mr. Swan, and anybody else that comes in here. I want to share a little story, touch base. I got a new background here. My good friend Robert B. sent me this Rembrandt. Well, it's not a Rembrandt, but I consider it a Rembrandt because it's a gift. And then we got the world globe over here. That's it. Very plain and simple. And there's still a lot of summer left. Football will be coming up next month. We'll be rocking and rolling, watching our teams and everything else. So shout out to Mike Francis. I don't hate you, bro. He's very knowledgeable on the current politics, and I give him respect on that because he's a true American. All right, folks. God bless you. Have a good day. It's not partly sunny. It's not partly cloudy. I haven't done these videos in so long. I forgot my ending. It's not partly cloudy. It's partly sunny. So enjoy life. Enjoy your day. And God bless y'all.